Welcome to the program this morning. I'm Ayo Makine. It's 28 degrees in Lagos. I don't know what it is in Abuja. Morning, Kayla.
Good morning. It's 27 degrees right here in the nation's capital. It was a rainy night. You know, one of those rains that wakes you up. You left your windows open and it was the water from the rain that woke you up. It was one of those situations. Very windy, a little bit of destruction around the nation's capital, but not so bad. Good morning, one and all. Welcome to the program. And we are taking you this morning to a place that is having a lovely weather today. We're going to Cross River State. Ayo, ever been?
Well, on one or two occasions, maybe. I hear Cross River State is one of those areas where it's almost raining all through, well, at least most of the time. The lush green in your face right now shows it. And of course, we are taking you through different parts of Cross River State this morning. If you are from Cross River State, an indigene or a resident, can you identify a place where you know? Tap your neighbor wherever you are right now and let them know, hey, I know that place, I know that place. How about you, Kayla? Ever been?
Yes, I have. Cross River is one of those places that you should go to. And of course, it's no more a secret that I like to hike. There are so many places to go to in Cross River State. And animals, you know, conservation areas, all that lush green, that rain did good for them. That weather in the place is also very pleasant. And then Ayo, the food. Oh my God. People are doing well in Cross River State. The food is something else. The food is fantastic. It's spicy, it's lovely, it's epa, everything just put together. And I love food. It's a lovely place. You should actually go. Just go around Cross River. And they actually plan their tourism, all right? So if you go there, you can actually find people who will take you on tours in Cross River. Take you to all of the conservation areas, climb a few dangerous bridges, you know, and then just enjoy the lovely scenery of Cross River. And just a bit of history about this place. Is in the south-south geopolitical zone of Nigeria, named for the Cross River. It was formed in the eastern part of the eastern region in 1967, and its capital is Calabar, which a lot of people know and love. And of course, the states around it, Benue, Ebonyi, Abia, you know, and the southwest, Akwa-Ibom, which is also a lovely place to go. And then it has another border with Cameroon around the eastern border. And well, it was originally known as Southeastern State, but it became Cross River in 1976. And it's a lovely bit of history and a lot of work going on right now in this state. A lot of political conversations going on, but we're not going to get into that today. But a lot of reforms happening in Cross River. You see these roads, new roads in Cross River, trying to make the place more industrial, trying to get more people to open up businesses, opening up. And we've heard the governor say so many times, we are ready for business. Everybody come. Let's see what we can do with our state. Ayo.
Well, for those who don't know, Calabar was at some point a capital of southern Nigeria province before the move to Lagos as the capital of the whole of the country now called Nigeria. And it's always good, and I like, you know, the fact that you took us back in history to tell us the time that this state was created, and to also, you know, underscore that it was part of the expansion into the 12 states. And of course, don't forget that in 1987, it was the state now called Akwa-Ibom State was broken from Cross River State, and all of that and all of that and all of that. And of course, there are a number of things that Calabar is known for, Kayla. You've just spaded tourism. Well, tourism is a mainstay for Calabar, and it is also very, very confident with agriculture, for which reason, of course, the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones has been commissioned there, and a lot of work I know is also going on in that state. So, for those of you from Calabar, or beg your pardon, from Cross River State, take it in for a bit. This is Cross River State of Nigeria.
A few minutes, few seconds of calm there. Beautiful. Good morning, Cross River. All right, we have quite a lot of things to talk about this morning. The biggest story in the country is the endorsement of the president for a second term. The question is, the endorsement is coming a little early. People are very upset. We see coalitions upset. We see other political parties upset about it. How do you give yourself a pass mark when you're just halfway through, you know? But they say this is an internal thing. As a party, they've done their internal conversations. They've done their own midterms, so to speak, and come up with the idea that, look, this is the man that we want to carry the flag of the party come 2027. So we'll be having a conversation about that. Natasha Akpoti, of course, in the news as well, being sued by the federal government. There were some things that were said not too long ago. We'll be talking about that. And then we have a guest, well, two guests. Laulu Akonde, of course, will be coming up much later. But we have someone from the National Assembly who will be talking to us about the kidnappings happening in his constituency and reforms in the customs service. So please stay with us.
People bailing out of a sinking ship when they have no life jacket. I'm glad of what we have, and I'm expecting more to come. That is the game.
He also accepts the endorsements, assuring everyone of his determination to do better for the country.
And not complain. To me, I owe you a whole world of gratitude. The endorsement today, the carry-go inspiration, I know road. We will lead you on to that promised land.
So that was the biggest story yesterday. We'll get to that, but let's just start off with our guest, who has a few things we need to get him to talk about. We have Mr. Leke Abejide, Honorable Leke Abejide with us Abejide in the office, House member representing Yagba Federal Constituency, that's in Kogi State. He's also the Chairman, House Committee on Customs. Thank you so much for being with us on the program.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right, so let's start off, because one of the things that I heard from your constituency was the kidnapping of a traditional ruler.
Yes,
So
very sad.
Talk to us about the security situation in your constituency.
The security situation in my constituency is worst now. And the people are foreigners. They speak Hausa language. As talking to you, one of my traditional rulers, second-class status, is in their custody. They are demanding 50 million ransom. And before then, they killed 3 youths the same day. They were just coming, especially in Yagba West and Yagba East local government, even part of Mopamuru. The 3 local governments that I represent, we are under siege now, and we need the help of the president. It has gone beyond the capacity of the state governor. We are doing our own best, but it is no way compared to what is happening at the moment.
How are they? How are they able to just come into your community? Are there no police?
Well,
don't you have security in your community?
they came. I believe they came because of the mineral resources that is there. Because in that area we can find gold, we can find lithium, we can find all mineral resources you can think of in this country. And I believe that even the coming up of these cement factories in our area that brought in different kind of people is also part of what brought the insecurity in that area. So we need to check this. There are things we are doing underground. Those of us that are elected officials in that area, we are not going to take it to the public now. When we are done with it, we will invite all these cement manufacturers and then inform them. Because we notice that part of the problem are these people.
What kind of conversations have you had with your governor on this matter?
Well, the governor is trying his best. We have been discussing. In fact, he has been up and doing. There was a time he made serious arrangement with the Inspector General of Police, and helicopter was given, and they were able to suppress them. But all of a sudden, they resurfaced again. I believe those people that were dislodged from Zamfara and some part of the northwest have now moved to Kogi West, especially Yagba Federal Constituency, because they are no longer finding it easy in northwest, and then even in the northeast they are facing heat. So they now see our area as a place to perpetrate their evil, to save. I mean, to help themselves to perpetrate this evil. I mean, so, but we will not take it easy with them.
Because I was going to say something that has to be checked early, because we've seen this happen in Zamfara.
Yes, it has to be checked early.
Yes.
If not,
if it's
Yagba Federal Constituency will be even worse than Zamfara.
Yes, because if it's a mineral situation, because what they usually do, at least according to the reports that we have, is that they will come destabilize the place. When everyone runs away, they mine, take what they need, and then you come back, and then, so it can actually become an enterprise. Do you think the efforts being made right now to stem this thing, to nip it in the bud, do you think that that's being done right now?
Well, the security agencies are trying their best, but I can say at the moment it's not enough. So there's need to put more effort. Actually, I was told, but I cannot say it here on the public. To the public, they are making serious efforts. In the next few days, there will be changes.
That's something we'll be looking forward to. All right, let's come back to the committee that you had, the Committee on Customs.
Okay.
So we hear that there's some reforms that are being proposed. Just walk us through a few of them and how this is going to make the customs service more reliable, because many people have been having questions. Even though we do see that there are improvements in the way the customs service has been running, but there are reforms that you're pushing for. What are those reforms, and how can they help the Nigerian people?
Well, we started this reform in the Ninth Assembly. First of all, we repealed the Custom and Excise Management Act, that is 1958 Act, and now reenacted Nigeria Customs Service Act 2023, which was signed by the former President Muhammadu Buhari GCFR. And in that reform, we look at technology, because that time the SEMA was enacted, there was nothing like technology. Everything was analog. So to bring in technology to assist customs in the area of their operations, either by examination or in the border stations, that is approved border stations, so that they can detect inflows of maybe arms, illicit goods, drugs, or whatever. And then at the ports, scanners. So, and that was what brought what we call e-customs, electronic customs, so that everything will be more or less, there will be less human interaction, there will be less human contacts. And it was given to a company called Trade Modernization Project. And they have been doing their best. They've started operations, they started deploying their technology. Now we have what they call Bodogu. Custom has always been automated right from time. They have never been analog since as far back as 2006. They have been transforming from Ascuda 2.0, Ascuda 2.7, Ascuda++, 961, 962. Now they're in Bodogu. So they're always been automated. So the new system now is just to reduce smuggling and make sure our economy improve. Also, what we are facing in this country is issue of revenue, to make sure that all leakages are blocked. And with this system, I believe customs will be able to assist the federal government in terms of more revenue to them. These are part of the reforms we are doing.
I mean, it's something to really look out for. Anything that would improve the customs service and make it something that we can all be very proud of. I want to be able to take the conversation to Ayo, because I think he has a few questions for you, especially when it comes to the customs service. Ayo?
You took it right out of my mouth, Kayla, because I was just, ruminating on what the, Honorable, what you've been saying about, particularly about the customs now. Not once, not twice have we had issues, conversations around border security, border porosity, and all of that. And one is wondering, with this initiative that you're talking about, what's the conversation with locals? Because we know that a good number of times things still seep into the country from communities, through various communities. I'm wondering if you think either this collaboration or this initiative of the customs will satisfy the porosity of the borders through various communities, or perhaps there are some other collaborative conversations, maybe not from customs, but some collaborations with other agencies of government, other communities, to ensure that the wonderful work that customs is doing doesn't seep through other unmanned parts of Nigeria, the entry points into the country.
Okay, if I understand you very clearly, you are trying to ask about the relationship between the Nigeria Customs Service and the border communities. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, okay. Yes, I remember in 9th Assembly, I was equally the chairman of the Committee of Customs. We started what we call CSR, corporate social responsibilities in all these border communities, whereby they will build healthcare, maternity healthcare center, they will build schools, they will provide water to all these border areas where they operate from, and even at the ports, so that the communities can work hand in hand with them. Because most of the problems they usually have at the border is with the communities. The communities see them as an outcast, not part of them, not contributing anything to them, while they are making revenue from their area. And because of that, most of the community refuse to compete with them, and they prefer to go and join hands with the smugglers. And since then, I think there's an improvement. Even with the coming of this new CGC2, he takes it so much passionate that all these border areas should also be assisted so much. Just like about 2 months ago, they launched what they call customs care. And this custom care is to take care of all these communities where they operate, so that they can collaborate with them in order to fight these smuggling activities in all these border stations. So this is what is going on now.
But I'm glad you mentioned, that there are, you could validate that there are smugglers or smuggling activities that go on from time to time. And of course, no one can. How many people do we have in the customs service? I'm not sure that they are able to cover all the entry points into the country. So that should be understood. So is there any collaboration with other agencies of government? Because It's a good thing to have some such initiatives by the Customs Service to ensure that
Of
the
course.
needful is done to insulate the country the best they can. But we can all be sure that I'm not sure that the Customs Service can efficiently and effectively, single-handedly man all the borders in the country. So there will still be some smuggling activities. How do we manage those interventions
It's impossible.
in a way that it does not impugn on the Customs Service, and that maybe there are other agencies of government working to ensure that the good work that the Customs is doing doesn't go down the drain?
Yes, there is collaboration with other agencies. There's what they call joint border patrol. They have the custom is there, DSS is there, Nigerian Army is there, Navy is there, Air Force is there, even NSCDC. They are working together. It's not only custom, but in the areas of this issue of unable to man all other borders, that is the reason why technology was introduced. Very soon, you will see that there is going to be drone. It's part of the e-customs project that where human being cannot access, technology can go there and check and see whatever is going on and then send signals down so that it can be tackled. There's no how. If you are a smuggler, as long as you can enter a place, definitely human other person too can enter. And if you are detected earlier, maybe through technology, before you come out, you'll be apprehended. So this is what is going on in custom. It's no issue of technology or getting these gadgets. It normally takes time. I'm sure maybe in the next few months, they will start delivering most of those equipment procured last year. It will start coming from Israel. It will start coming into the country, and they will deploy them to all ports and border stations to reduce smuggling. You can only suppress smuggling. You cannot eradicate it, but it will be suppressed to the minimum everywhere in the country, I believe.
Well, I'm glad you also mentioned the issue of trust the other time, and you've also spoken to collaboration of other agencies of government. But how do we build trust, particularly among the locals who, as you say, they see government officials generally as outcasts? So if they see the Customs Service as outcasts, you can be sure that it's the same way they see other agencies of government that you mentioned who are co-collaborators with the Customs Service. So it's important to build trust. How do we build that trust in a way that the people will welcome all initiatives of government through the various agencies of security agencies of government? How do we build that trust in a sustainable manner, Honorable?
Well, number one, it is to show the people that you have their interests at heart. How do you show them? By taking care of their needs. As I mentioned earlier, if you are making money from my land and then you allow my area to be neglected, just like now, if you go to Obajano, that's my state, I'm from Kogi West, Obajano is in cement is in Kogi West, that's Dangote cement. If you are passing there, you'll be thinking you are passing through a war zone. The people there are not happy because the cement factory has not done anything to that community. So you don't expect peace in that kind of area. So the custom realized this early, and then they started working to make sure the area they operate in, they build schools, they build roads, they build hospitals, and they take care of all the people around them to make sure they can support them by giving them information about those people that are coming in with illicit goods to destroy our economy and even this insecurity in the land. They cause it more because most of these arms and ammunition also come through the border sections, both approved or non-approved borders. We know in any organization, either in the army or in the police or in custom, we have bad eggs. Definitely. Whoever is a collaborator within the custom too will be phased out and then will be dealt with according to the law. So I believe the system they adopted now, this customs care, by the time it's fully operational, the people that are within the border stations, not only within, even the ports where they operate too, they will be able to support Nigeria Customs Service and the trust will be fully built. They will know that, yes, if we support these people, they will come in back in turn to give us what we need. This, I believe, will build the trust the more.
All right, let's talk some politics before I hand back to Kayla. There's a report out there, of course, the federal government has since instituted a suit against one of your fellow indigents from Kogi State, who is also a member of the National Assembly in the Senate. That's talking about Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and all of the allegations making the rounds. I'm wondering what your thoughts are, first as a politician and then as an indigent of Kogi State.
Well, I think the case is already in court. We don't need to discuss it. But as a politician, I believe that in politics, is give and takes. And we have leaders. We must give respect to our leaders. That's the way I see it. If my leader said, please, listen to me, I must listen. It's a lesson. What has happened is just a lesson. I know it's already too late. But next time, when leaders are talking, you allow them to take your case, not put your hand and dip it into the pot yourself. So this is what has happened in Kogi. This matter shouldn't have even escalated to this. I expected my sister to just, take it lightly and face her people that she's representing. Now that she's out, who is representing them? Nobody. So to me, I don't see any sense in all this fight. To me, it does not worth it. It does not worth it.
I mean, listening to you talk about Senator Natasha's situation, actually, I know you didn't want to have an opinion, but you have stated an opinion there, which is that you think she was in the wrong. Is that where we're going with this conversation?
To me, there's no point of taking it too far.
Who took it too far? She did?
Yeah, she did. She took too far. There's no point of that. Your people love you. They voted you into office. If you see that this is going to, I want to work for my people, and that's all.
If someone felt that, if your daughter felt like she was being bullied, felt like someone was denying her of her rights, wouldn't you tell her to stand up for herself?
I'm not in PDP, but I had the leaders of the PDP in the Senate talking that they spoke with her, they talked to her, but she didn't listen to them.
All right, well, like you said, it's in court, so we'll see how all of the federal government has to
decide since it's a court matter. Yeah.
I want to talk about your party, the ADC. The ADC is in the news. You're a member of the African Democratic Congress.
I'm even the national leader.
You're the national. Is this true? Is it true that Atiku, Peter Obi, and Rufai are coming to your party?
What?
It's even in the headlines today. I'm seeing it in the headlines since yesterday.
I'm hearing it the way you are hearing it because I've never been invited to any coalition meeting. So, and I'm the only elected official in that party in Nigeria. Though in the state assembly in my state, we have ADC, courtesy of me.
Well, that's a very strange dynamic. If they say that they're coming, these are big wigs. They say they are coming into the African Democratic Congress, of which you are a member.
They are welcome to the party.
So you haven't heard, but you're hearing it the way I'm hearing it
the way you are hearing it. I've not been. Actually, the national chairman has been trying to see me. I've not been around for some time.
Okay.
I've been out of the country mainly after the oversight of Zone A.
Who's the national chairman of the ADC?
Chief Ralph Nwosu.
Ralph Nwosu. Okay.
So he's the national chairman. I've been trying to talk to me, to see me, and then I've not been able to see him. But I've definitely see him one of these days. Maybe I will hear from him, whether it's true or not.
Is it a welcome development? Is this something you want?
Well, Nigeria is a democratic country. So anything, just like the presidency, freedom of association. freedom of movement is allowed by law. So if I like tomorrow now, I can move to APC. Nobody can stop me. So that is it. Anybody can come into ADC, and anybody can go out of ADC.
I will latch on to that thing you just said now.
Latch on to it.
You will move to the APC.
Well,
are you going to move to the APC?
Time will tell.
Time will tell. What do you make of the APC endorsing Tinubu as their sole candidate? And of course, all these conversations about a one-party state. We heard the president say, no, it's one party making a difference, not a one-party state. You know, and then, of course, the endorsement. Many people have criticized the endorsement, saying it's just 2 years into your first term. Why are they giving you such an endorsement? You know, and many people are very concerned about the defections that have, you know, of course, the APC is gloating right now. We have more people joining us. But many people have said, look, this is not good for democracy. And then, of course, there's the accusation. We heard one of the accusations yesterday by Mazi, the spokesperson for Atiku Abubakar. He says a lot of these people are defecting to the APC for protection from prosecution. So talk to us a little bit about how you feel about this endorsement of the president and these accusations that are coming up right now.
Well, the endorsement was done by the party. It is not an election. So, and the party can decide to do anything they want to do with their own party. So those people criticizing, are they in APC? They're outside of APC. What concerns them with APC matter? Even the Supreme Court say, when you go and challenge from another party, that is, they say you don't have local standing. You got what I'm saying? So, that is another person's affair you are prognosing into. Even though they don't endorse him, who is going to contest against him? So, except they have to give him that chance to first refuse that, oh, I'm not contesting, before somebody can come out. So that endorsement to me is just like just to, you know, say it, just to talk.
Something tells me you're going to move to the APC very soon.
It's not that maybe I'm going to move to APC. I have been an APC person of all the time.
You're in the ADC, but you are an APC person.
I was first of all an APC person before I became ADC, and there were the circumstances that took me to ADC is no longer there.
Okay.
So I was the leader of APC on my side before I went to ADC. And now everybody, there's alignment and realignment.
Okay.
And it's not going to end with me.
You think more people are going to defect?
More people will come, but what I would just advise is that some are coming for destruction into APC. They're not coming with genuine intention to make people. In fact, they don't even have the value. They want to come and destroy the party. Somebody told me something, and the person that told me is a retired Assistant Director General of DSS. So I believe him. He said, somebody crossed the APC recently, and this coalition that you mentioned about my party, the PDP, you know, I think from PDP, Labour, SDP. And some other parties, so it's from factions are coming to ADC. So when they got to his federal constituency, he has come to APC. He called and said that they should put his space down. That where he decamped to, he just decamped there, that it does not belong there. These are the kind of people we need to watch. They need to watch in APC. They watch people that lack integrity.
All right, well, that's a good place to close it. Thank you so much, Mr. Leke Abejide, for being with us on the program this morning. House member representing Yagba Federal Constituency and Chairman House Committee on Customs. Thanks for your insights this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, it's Friday, a lot of things to talk about, and we have Mr. Laolu Akonde coming up. We're breaking out some of the biggest stories of the week, so stay with us.
In the charge sheet, a copy of which was cited by Channels Television, the federal government accused Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan of making imputation, knowing or having reason to believe that such imputation will harm the reputation of a person, an offense contrary to Section 391 of the Penal Code, Cap 89 Laws of the Federation 1990. The offense is punishable under Section 392 of the same law. The federal government further alleged that Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, on or about the 3rd day of April 2025, during the Politics Today program on Channels Television in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, made the imputation against the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and the former governor of Kogi State, Yagba. The list of witnesses show that both men will testify during the trial. Also to testify are 2 investigative police officers, ACP Maya Iliya and SP Abdulafiz Gaba, who will tell the court what role they played in the investigation of the case. Another Dr. Sandra Duru is also listed as one of the witnesses.
It was part of the meeting, the discussions Akpabio had with Yahya Bello that night to eliminate me.
In the live TV interview, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan had also accused the Senate President and the former Kogi State Governor of plotting to assassinate her. She was quoted as saying, "Let's ask the Senate President why in the first instance did he withdraw my security, if not to make me vulnerable to attacks. He then emphasized that I should be killed, but I should be killed in Kogi." She had concluded by saying, "What is important to me is to stay alive, because dead men tell no tales." Both men had, however, denied the allegations. In another count, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, on or about the 27th day of March 2025, during a 2-way telephone conversation with one Sandra Duru in Abuja, made an imputation concerning Senator Godswill Akpabio by claiming that the girl Imoreni Newbong, who was killed some years ago, had her organs used for the wife of the Senate President, who was really ill. The court is yet to fix a date for the arraignment of Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan on these charges. Shola Shuyeli, Channels Television News.
Welcome back. Well, here we are. This is where we are on that conversation, and we'll be breaking that down along with some of the major stories this week that have been making the major rounds. And joining us this morning is Mr. Laolu Akonde, former spokesperson to the former vice president and host of Inside Sources.
Good morning, Kayla. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Natasha's story, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's story. I mean, if you followed it from the beginning up to where we are, you may not be very surprised that a lot of things are happening, but just your thoughts on it, because it does seem pretty sad, especially when you think about the fact that she represents a group of people, and those people are not being represented right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like we said before, our suspension, doesn't seem to align with our laws. The courts have ruled, a number of times that you cannot suspend an elected senator. So to that extent, but I think the matter again is in court. But this latest development, I'd like to say 2 things. One, I wish that we are not using the law enforcement agencies in these very seemingly personalized ways. But I guess, if people feel aggrieved, they probably want to push the issues. And you're talking of very important people. The Senate President is number 3 man in this country. If he feels aggrieved and he writes a petition to the Inspector General of Police, the chances are that it will be looked at. So I do hope that Senator Natasha is going to get good lawyers and that he can prove some of the things that she has said. But the overriding factor for me, or overriding point for me, is that all of this is just a distraction. It's a complete, total distraction. It is not in the interest of the public. It has no value. It has nothing to us as a people. it's just becoming much of a charade.
It is a pretty scary situation, and like you said, we'll see how it all unfolds.
Yeah.
But when things happen, and I think it's important to point this out, you have to think not just about how your actions will affect now. Sometimes things have ripple effects.
Absolutely.
And then when you are someone in government, you also have to think about, plan ahead. If you're going to stand by something, then you should have a plan for 2, 3,
all the
4,
way.
to go all the way. And I really do hope that that's the situation that we have here. The lawmaker who just left here is from Kogi State, and he actually believes, that she was wrong. He said, we couldn't have it didn't have to get here. There were conversations that were had. People had talked. I had an interview with Senator Abamoro not too long ago. He said, I spoke to her personally, and she wouldn't listen to me. Should she have backpedaled?
Well,
because I remember the last time you were here, you were supporting how courageous and how she stood her ground. But some people are saying maybe she should have.
Well, I don't. I come from the point of view of somebody who says that rights have been violated, she's been harassed, and I thought that what we needed to do, or what has to be done, is to give her and the people that she's accusing a very free and fair, transparent process for us to be able to know what exactly happened and what did not happen. And then of course, other things took place. So I don't want to judge the situation up or down, more than to say that, look, the issue is still on the ground. We hope that we will know what the truth is. There are a lot of people who have said that, no, what she's saying is not right, and all of these kind of things. There have been a lot of pushback, and I wish that we can have those properly revealed in a proper process. We should be able to do that for ourselves. I mean, my view is that the Senate President ought to have encouraged a free and fair process to clear his name. I think that would have been a much easier thing to do. There are, it looks as if you are trying to shout her down. It looks as if you are trying to use your power to pummel her. But like I said, if the Senate President felt that he's been aggrieved and raises a petition to the Inspector General of Police, they will act on it, and one hopes that all of these things will be sorted out properly in court.
Let's move on to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Right. He's the sole candidate for the APC, according to what we heard in that APC summit yesterday. Right. Oh, the ripple effects of that. Everyone had something to say. Our phones are full of messages from people saying this is what we believe. But most of them from the opposition believing that this was ill-advised, too soon, an insult to the sensibilities of the Nigerian people who are dealing with harsh economic realities. Give the pass mark to the person that the Nigerian people are blaming for their situation in life. What do you make of this sole candidature that has been vested on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for 2027?
Well, I don't think that anybody should be surprised that a sitting president is going to get a second term. It's normally what happens. You don't get a contest when there's a sitting president. For the second term primaries, whatever. It's almost traditional.
Why 2 years in?
Well, so
why not wait till?
I think that in politics, you want to showcase, your strength. You want to demonstrate that you are in charge. You want to show that this is where it is happening. Yeah. So all of those are political games. The real frustration that Nigerians must express is with the opposition that doesn't know their left from their right. That's the real frustration. Look, APC is going to do what they need to do. They are in power. They have all the resources. They control the levers. Hey, this is what they all do. So it's not peculiar to APC. When PDP was in power, they did similar things. What is important is that when PDP was in power, you had people like President Buhari people like Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu holding the front vanguard against the government. That is what is absent.
And that's what's lacking, right?
That's what is lacking. You know, so look, don't attack the APC for showcasing that, hey, it's our turn. You know, like my Yoruba people will say, Awala Wambe, you know, which means that this is our thing. You know, yeah, that is what all of them do. And you're right. The interest of the Nigerian people is a different ballgame. The way I see it, our political elites, regardless of their political parties, right now, they are in one place, which is the place of politicking and doing their games. The president said it himself. They use the word, that's the game.
It's the game.
The other part is where the Nigerian people are, grueling, are suffering under insecurity and trying to eke out a living under the economic circumstances.
I'm going to pass it up to Ayo right now, because listen to the president yesterday. Oh, it's not a one-party state. It's one party making a difference, you know. Yeah. And then, of course, the explanations we're hearing from the president. Look, this was a party thing. Don't worry. We'll bring it to the people when it's time. But for now, this is a party thing. But I'm sure Ayo has a few questions for you. Go ahead, Ayo.
You know, my interest is always about the people, Kayla. And Mr. Akonde, that question of the people is what I'm interested in right now. What are we communicating to the people? You know, it's easy for us to get, as you said earlier, distracted by all of the noise and all the furore making the rounds, which some people would say is just a storm in a teacup. We have 36 states. We have officially 774 local government areas in the country. With all these noise and all these distractions, what are we communicating to the people? Or are we not saying anything? Do we just expect the people to just roll over and go with the flow?
Yeah, so thank you, Ayo. Very, very important point. You know, at the end of the day, you know, it ought to be, and it will actually be about the people. What politicians, you know, of the Nigerian hue seem not to appreciate is the real value of the people. In my experience, you know, and where I stand, you know, as somebody who was in government and who is now a journalist, who was always been a journalist anyway, is that the Nigerian politician does not give the people the value because they have managed over time, especially in this Fourth Republic since 1999, to be able to grab power by their acumen. You know, they have mastered the machinations. You know, they have mastered the game. They know exactly how to push the levers. You know, and the interest of the people is somewhat included, but not significantly so. That is why you will find a situation that I was trying to describe, that politicians are doing their thing on one side, and Nigerian people are on the other side. You know, and hopefully at some point, you will try to see the two coming together. I think that is going to happen ultimately at the time of voting. You know, so yes, I think it was one of the presidential spokespeople that said that what happened yesterday was just the party doing its thing, you know. But you are right, they are doing their thing in the face or in the faces of Nigerians who are grueling, who are challenged. And I don't think that it's a case of government not doing anything. My view is that government is doing quite a bit, but we haven't gotten to the point, in my personal view, where you can be bragging. No, we are not there yet. But hey, you can't stop them. You know, they have their own plans. They have their own games. The president said it, you know, that, hey, he expects more people to come, and that's the game. That has its place. But what we also want to urge the president, especially because he is in power, is that, look, play this game very, very well in such a way that when you are out of that place, in 4 years or 8 years, you can look back and say that, yes, you did your best. That's what some of us are interested in.
Perhaps also by way of involving the people. Most of the time, for instance, of course, you are not unaware of that bill trying to enforce compulsory voting, and of course there's been a lot of hue and cry against that. to the extent of what Yagba is saying, look, we need to even step up on voter education. Now, politicians, as you said, are doing their thing. Shouldn't we begin, or is it too early for us to begin to ramp up voter education in a way that people know what this whole game, as the president called it, is about, which would hopefully inform their choices whenever any election whatsoever is to come up?
I agree with you entirely, and thank you for bringing up that issue. I think that this idea of compulsory voting should not be dismissed, completely, entirely, like we have seen some of our legal minds do. Yes, I agree with them, particularly Mr. Femi Falana, that you cannot compel people because they have a right to vote or not to be voted for. Their fundamental rights. That's true. But I also believe that a drastic cure, we need to do something drastic about the fact that you have over 200 million Nigerians. And what is the figure of people voting? 10 million, 12 million? And like somebody observed, since 1999, the figures have not actually been coming up. Now, it is true that, you have similar cases in other climes, but our own situation is one of the lowest in terms of the apathy of the voter. So, while we may question, the fact that you can't force somebody to go and vote because he has the right not to vote, I think we should try and see what can we make of that bill. We need to do everything. In my view, we should be willing to do as much as we can to get the people to vote. And people say that, it's the apathy because the politicians are not doing what they're supposed to do because our votes don't count, all of which is true. But guess what? It's a catch-22, chicken and egg. If the people are coming out massively to vote, it becomes much more difficult for those votes not to count. If they come out massively, the politicians themselves will understand that there is a new dynamic. So this apathy, is working to the advantage of the political elite who have no incentive to change it. So I support Tijani Abbas, the Speaker of the House of Representatives in this bill. But let us see how we can tweak that bill so that the rights of the people are not affronted.
Mr. Makoba, I heard him recently. He said he'd rather go to jail.
Yeah,
he said he'd rather go to jail.
And you can
than allow you force him to vote, because the right not to vote is also the right that is guaranteed.
Yeah, that's the point. But I think people like my dear brother Akbakuba, there's a bit of aloofness that the Nigerian elite, including people like Akbakuba, and many of our elites that they share. These people get engaged, they talk in public, but where are they on day of election? And it's their right. We have a serious problem in this country. Our politicians are messing up for the most part. We need to get the people involved in the process. We must find ways. We must sit down. So I don't want to completely dismiss this idea of the Senate, of the Speaker of the House. But yes, let us take care of it. We must do something drastic, because if we are able to bring the people to come and vote, we will be getting closer to affirming the place of the people in a democracy.
Asking people to vote, and I get your point. This is a debate, really. Yeah. It's a debate everywhere. Yeah. The question is that if Nigerians don't trust the system, why are you forcing them to vote? Why not fix the system, make it one that they can trust?
By them getting involved in the system, you can fix the system. That's why I said it's the catch-22. It's chicken and egg.
How?
Which one comes first?
How is forcing them to vote coming out to vote? How is that going to fix the system?
Not forcing them. If you find a way for them to come and vote, the very dynamic of the people coming out en masse to vote, for instance, it will make rigging much more difficult. All of these shenanigans.
More participation will stop the impunity of rigging.
Because you will see that the people are out there. It will build its own momentum. It comes with a buzz. It creates a different atmosphere. That is why I think we shouldn't dismiss it completely. But
we do have to wrap it up there. But I want to thank you, Mr. Laolu Akonde. There's never enough time. Yeah. Mr. Laolu Akonde, former presidential aide and host of Inside Sources right here on Channels Television.
Always good to see you, Kela.
Thank you so much for being with us. We have a message here from Pastor Law Alpha C. He says, if anything would be counted against the suspended senator, it could be her unguarded utterances, he says. Journalists are there to pretend solidarity, accusing us loudly. We're there to pretend solidarity until one nails themselves on certain sensitive issues. Thank you so much for your message there, Pastor Law Alpha C. And that is our show this morning. Thank you all so much. Have a great weekend. Be safe. I am Kayla Magwa.
And I'm Ayo Makinde. Have a good day.